All right. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Got one thumbs up. Okay, and a nod. Okay, great, great. We got some people joining in. Yay. That makes me happy. Happy March. Happy March 1st. Someone just sent me a text saying happy spring. I don't know if we can say spring yet. We can say happy March, but I don't think we can say happy spring just yet. I think there's still some cold weather chasing us. But today, a day like today makes me want to go out and plant something, but I know it's too early. All right, we got a couple of minutes left. We got a lot to talk about today. So be sure if you've just joined in to put your email in the chat box, because I might just seem all over the place today because I'm going to be mentioning a ton of things because it's the last 9 weeks and we got a lot coming and it's going to go like that. I promise you. I see Miss Alvarez nodding yes. It is going to fly by and we have so much happening. So you want to make notes of it. You want to go back and look like, what did she say again to do and what's happening? And so you can refer to the video, to the slideshow and click on the links later. So be sure you leave your email address and I will send it to you after today's little chat. All right, I see some returning friends and some new friends. So welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. I see some email addresses. Awesome. See if I can get my presentation. All right. It looks like, all right, it's 9:02. I know there'll probably be a few more people joining in, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So moms, dads, ladies, gentlemen, any grandparents, welcome. If it's your first time, welcome. I'm so glad you joined in. I do these every month on the first Tuesday. And unfortunately, if this is your first time, next month in April will be my last one. All right, but it's always good to have some information and and you get feedback from other parents also. All right, so I love seeing my little green shamrocks. I just love seeing green by the time March gets here. So I'm not even in the least bit part Irish, but I get all into the St. Patrick's Day. So here we go. Let's begin with our time in. If this is your first time, we always do our breathing exercise. Why? Because this is how our kids start the day. They start the day getting their brain ready, I call it. And I always ask them, after we do it, I say, you know what, is your brain ready? And they go yes or no, because we have to actually engage our thinking part of our brain that helps us make good decisions. So we start with a breathing exercise and we use this little chime to help them get ready. And sometimes they do what they call a pretzel with their hands because that keeps their hands occupied and busy while they're doing it so they can really focus. So here we go. Let's all take a deep breath. Think about our day. Think about spring. All right, I hope your brains are ready and you're ready for the day, you're ready for the new month and the coming of spring. And guess what? Spring break. Can you believe next week will be spring break? So let's go ahead and get started. Just because I said I was not in the least bit part Irish, but I am almost 100% Cajun. It would not be okay to all to my parents and grandparents and their great grandparents if I didn't pay homage to the day. Happy Mardi Gras, everyone. If you are from that area of the country, this is Mardi Gras. So those people down there are doing something totally different today. Les élèves bâton roulé, which is their saying for Mardi Gras, let the good times roll. So this is their day today. Happy Mardi Gras if you're from that area. So my message today from Ms. Alvarez. Do you want to join in and go ahead? I added something about cap and gown, and I'm going to share that with them. I snuck that in your slide, okay? But I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad to see so many of you join us this morning. So just some announcements. We have a lot of things going on. Of course, next week is spring break. So we'll be closed that week. And then we are opening up very soon our pre-K and kindergarten registration. And I hope that you will help us get the word out. It is going to be on April 26th. And we have a morning and afternoon, and it'll be at central administration. So if you know anybody in the community that have a pre-K student or a kindergarten student, our registration will be open April 26th for in-person registration. And this will be for the 2022-2023 school year. Isn't that crazy? And then unfortunately, last week we had bad weather on the night that we were supposed to have our STEAM night. So we had to reschedule it. And I don't know about you, but when I was little, we didn't have STEAM class. And just in case you don't know what it stands for, STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And oftentimes one of students' favorite classes. So if you don't know what that is and you're curious, you want to come see what your child's been learning in STEAM class, this is a great opportunity for you to come and enjoy that with them. And then I see that you added the cap and gown orders. So we have started already because we're already in March. April, May, kids will graduate from kindergarten in just 2 months. And I was looking at the calendar, and after this week, we've got 11 school weeks left. It's crazy. So we used to have cap and gowns here at school, and then we just, the kids we would reuse them. But after COVID, everything's changed, and so now you purchase it, you keep it. We don't share them or anything like that. So that will be purchased through My School Bucks. So go into your My School Bucks, and if you haven't set up an account already, it's where you would pay for your kids' lunches and things like that too. So that's where that is, and you'll see in the newsletter last week I included a little video about how you go and where you click so you can purchase your cap and gown. And then once we get them, we will give them to you that week. We will give you the cap so you can decorate it on the top like you would for college. And then the gowns we just keep here, and we'll press them here for you so they can be nice and wrinkle-free for that special day. Thank you all once again for joining us.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Alvarez. I snuck in the little cap and gown on there because I know a lot of you have been emailing me about it and you had a little difficulty. And I'll be honest, I kind of did myself the first time I went into My School Bucks, but it's under featured items. If you just go to the school store itself, you may not see it. It's just some random like school supply stuff, but then look where it says there's an option for featured items, and the cap and gown for Salina Primary will be one of those items. So, and again, if you do have any problems, just email me and I'll go through that again. It's a little, you go to that district website, and click on parents, and again, select the My School Bucks. All right. So as Ms. Alvarez said, let's jump into it. We have a lot going on. Why is it not moving forward? There we go. All right. So just real quick reviewing, if you haven't already heard from my last coffee, Miss Peary is our new nurse, and she hit the ground running. We had a lot of fevers and the usual winter coughs and colds and sniffles and things going on. And so just make sure she always has your current contact information on file. Some of you have moved, you were waiting for your house to be finished and you've now moved. So make sure she has all that information. Always replenish the change of clothes with the correct size because they've grown, and the correct season. All right, because it's still a little chilly. You want to have some long pants in their change of clothes. And not just for accidents, not just for potty accidents, but they go outside and they slip in the mud, or someone spills milk on them. So just for any emergency, have them be prepared. And then I know Ms. Alvarez sent some important information in her newsletter about medication. changes. We've sort of had some not miscommunication, just not complete understanding of the kinds of things that are considered medication. Cough drops are considered medication, believe it or not. And so the teachers don't administer any medication. Do not send it just from their backpack, and tell them to take it throughout the day as they feel bad. You need to have it given to the nurse, and the whole procedure for that and everything is in the school website that we have. I'll refer to that in the next slide. And so anytime there's a question, just call the school and find out, but just always check. And kids cannot carry stuff in their backpack. We don't know who they'll share things with or what child might be allergic to something. So I put this extra slide in today on school attendance because I know that this has been a big issue because some of our chickadees have missed several days. We understand that happens when they're little. They miss a lot. They get a lot of little sniffles because they've not been around so many kids for forever. The first time they get around big groups of children, they share everything, including their little sniffles. So we definitely don't want your child to attend school if they're not feeling well. But we do need them to be here each and every day whenever possible, because I'm going to just tell you, I'm going to be honest, because that's my job. I'm the counselor. I'm here to help parents as well as the children. So there's a strong correlation between their academic success and their attendance, because they can't learn if they're not here. So some of our students who are struggling are frequently absent. So that being said, don't be offended if we call and ask, are they doing okay? We need some attendance notes. Why have they been absent? We're not being nosy, and we're not insinuating anybody is, sitting home, just watching television with their kid or anything like that. Please do not be offended. It's just, we want to help. Our job is what? To help your child learn the best they can and to succeed. I want them to have a successful year. We're not out to have anyone being retained in kindergarten. So attendance notes are necessary. The district requires, the state requires 90% attendance for credit. That means as they get older, when they're in high school, if they do not have 90% attendance, they have to make up the time or not receive credit for the course. And so attendance notes are required even in kindergarten and pre-K. So send those. You can send them via email to Ms. Owsley. And if you're not sure, if you're ever, you don't have to go to the doctor every single time your child has sniffles, but if they're just have a little tummy ache, a little upset tummy, and you keep them home for the day, send an email explaining why they were out that day to Ms. Owsley. All right. So I mentioned earlier about the parent information site. The link is right there. When you have questions about medication, about attendance, about days off, about spring break, and what day the kids are not here, but the staff is, and is any of those calendar questions, any of those things, you can go to the parent information site. Not to say Mr. Rivera is not the best, he is the best customer service, right? I think if you've had any dealings with him, you would agree. Best customer service. He will answer all your questions, but you can't get 24/7 answers. And the parent information site is available 24/7, and it's always got the latest information. So if you didn't know about that, check it out. Now, my feature topic this month as your child's counselor is, some of you are wondering right now, is my child on track? Exactly what do they do in kindergarten? I've sat in on a lot of parent meetings this year, and parents are amazed at what they're doing in kindergarten and even pre-K now. Well, I'm ancient, right? By today's standards, especially at this school. And so, yes, it's changed a whole lot since I started school. And you might be wondering, what goes on in kindergarten all day? Very often parents are surprised at the expectations and the rigor of pre-K in the kindergarten program. All right, so if you remember playing in the sandbox and having the little toy centers, and then you ate animal crackers and juice, and then everybody went to take a nap, doesn't happen anymore. That is not what kindergarten looks like anymore. All right. it looks very different today than it did 10 years ago. Kindergarten students, well, kindergarten students don't take naps. Pre-K still does, but kindergarten students do not. So therefore, it's a very long day for young children. And some of you with kindergarten children probably remember those first few weeks, they came home very tired and probably fell asleep in the car. So if you're a pre-K parent watching this, you know you need to start weaning them away from those little naps in the summer, because when they start kindergarten next fall, the naps will be gone. And you don't want them to be falling asleep in the afternoon. It takes a while for them to get their bodies adjusted. Now, the rest of the day, I can assure you they're engaged in very rigorous learning activities. The day in the life of a kindergartner. This is just a typical schedule I copied from one of the teachers. They don't all have this exact schedule, but it's pretty close. They all start out in morning meetings, which is their social emotional learning time, when we go over the character traits that we're studying of the month and the mind up lessons we're studying. Yesterday, our Mindful Monday was all about being happy and understanding how thinking positive, happy thoughts can actually kind of change our brain around and improve our mood. And it's kind of like exercising our brain. And we do have muscles in our brain. We tell them you got to strengthen those muscles to focus and make good choices. And we read stories to them that teach good lessons. Yesterday, it was a story/song. If you're happy and you know it, isn't that the greatest? Remember, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. They did the whole little thing and they had a blast. So they did that yesterday. And then after that, after any morning meeting, they do their ELAR time, and that's all their big reading block, and it's a long time because reading is so important. That's the skill they're learning in kinder. They're learning to read, because at the end of second grade, they're reading to learn. Once they start third grade, if they haven't mastered all those skills, it's going to be a struggle until they get those down pat. So this is so critical, and this is why we spend so much time on it. Then they go into specials. They might have to do their math before lunch or after PE. They have a PE break. They have a recess break somewhere in the day, either morning or afternoon, social studies and science, as well as they do have a brief snack time. Those that have late lunch have morning snack. Those that have early lunch have a late afternoon snack to go through the day. So they don't stop all day. They don't stop. So it's a very rigorous curriculum that they follow. And by the time they leave pre-K, they should know all their numbers up to a certain point, I believe to 30. And they know their alphabet, recognizing the letters, not just singing the alphabet song, but actually, being able to look at some print and, oh, this is the letter A. This is the letter L. When they're leaving kindergarten, we'll get to that later, they really have mastered the letters, the sounds. A lot of them come into kindergarten knowing that. So expectations, that leads me into this, very important. This was a shock to some parents. So if you have neighbors that have just moved into the area that have kindergarten students, with the pandemic, a lot of kindergartners, pre-K, 3-year-olds, a lot of that whole block of time, they stayed home. And so they didn't come knowing quite all the letters and sounds like they had in the past. And so it was a struggle, but most were able to catch up. By the time they leave kindergarten, they will be able to write short sentences. That's an expectation. Can you believe that? They're writing sentences. They're counting to 100. They're spelling simple sight words. Yes, they have spelling tests. Okay, catch your breath. Yes, they have spelling tests. If you didn't hear about that already, a spelling test in kindergarten. So they're spelling words, and they read over 75 sight words. So that didn't happen 10 years ago. So you see, it's very different now. So knowing these things, we'll look at pre-K, also first grade. What happens in those grades? Well, okay, your child's not going to be, maybe you have a younger one that's getting ready for pre-K and you're wondering, are they going to be okay? You have some that are getting ready for kinder. I know some of you have already emailed me. I don't think my littlest one is quite ready for kinder. I don't know. They have a summer birthday. Well, while the kindergarten students they still nap every day, and they still have their little centers and their little playtime. They do spend the majority of the day doing their morning work on letters. They eventually start learning their sounds. And they're able to write their names. They can color, they can cut, they can handle a pair of scissors. And most importantly, I almost wanted to put this on the actual slide itself. They're able to attend to short read alouds. Like you should be reading little short books at home. And now I'm not talking about chapter, though some children are ready for chapter books, believe it or not. I'm talking about our little short read alouds. Like some of you are like talking about Cat in the Hat. Well, yes, they should be able to sit and listen to you read from beginning to end the book, The Cat in the Hat. That's an expectation in pre-K and kindergarten as well. So they have to be independent with their self-help skills. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, first grade, I'm a kinder parents, first grade. What's expected in first grade? Well, in first grade, there's not all the little cutesy, there's some, but not so much all the little cutesy centers. There's a cute little book out there on Amazon, by the way, if you don't have first grade, it's called First Grade Stinks. Write it down, First Grade Stinks. Cute. Well, the little girl walks in first grade and didn't look all that cutesy like her kindergarten class looked. And she's thinking, I'm going back to kindergarten. But by the time she finishes her first, I want to say week of kindergarten, she loves first grade. I mean, I said kindergarten, first grade. She loves first grade. She loves her first grade teacher, and she thinks, oh, those kindergartners are babies. So it's cute, but First Grade Stinks. So when kids enter first grade, they're really immersed in a lot of very rigorous learning activities, and they're expected to complete, here's the difference. They're expected to complete a great deal of it independently. So if they're still struggling with their letters and sounds, they're going to struggle in first grade, which means you may have to do some summer catch up or, maintaining. If they're still unable to sit and listen to a short read aloud, this could be concerning. But don't panic because it's March. Okay, we're headed to spring break. So you're making note of some things that you might need to work on or just maintain for next year. So there are things you can do at home and continue to do so over the summer so they don't forget what they've mastered this spring, because they will accomplish a lot this spring. We see huge jump in growth in the spring, and you want to maintain that, because it's still kind of fluid. You want to make sure it's solidified and they're ready for first grade. They feel confident in themselves. So here we go. The things that I like that you can start doing now. Okay, what can I do? Well, one of the biggies, especially after the pandemic, when during a lot of places, they even closed their public restrooms. I remember this. And so I attributed a lot to that. But be sure when they enter school, if you've got a pre-K right now, or when they enter kinder, if your pre-K is going into kinder, that they feel very comfortable with public restroom facilities, AKA school. Because in school, we have like the little stalls in the little girl and boys bathroom. It's not just the little cozy bathroom like you have at home. And some of them, they walk in and it's like, whoa, they're not too sure they want to go to the bathroom in this place because there's more than one person in the bathroom. There's some other little kids in there at the same time, and they're not real comfortable with that. And so you want to slowly introduce them to that, because what happens the first day, they're not real comfortable. And so they're scared to go to the bathroom, and then they might wet their pants, or they might, try to hold it till they get home, and they're not enjoying their day. We don't want them to have to worry about that. So you want them to feel a little confident in themselves and comfortable. They can tend to their needs, big and small, in the bathroom, and relieve them of that stress, please. And that way, I mean, the teachers, now we're not going to leave anyone stranded in the bath, but the teachers can't go in the stall. All right, and help them. Now, sometimes they have trouble with the buttons and zippers and things, and they come out, we help them finish up. A zipper will get stuck, or the button might be a little too tight. All right, but put the easy, hey, you know what? If it were me today in this day and age, I think I'd go with the easy on, easy off, the pull-up pants with elastic waist. Problem solved. Really seal the deal that they're confident that they can take care of it all the first few days of school. So And then tell them to let their teacher know when an accident happens, that they're not in trouble. They've got their extra clothes. It happens. It happens to many, 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 many kids. All right. So another thing, and I noticed this year, this was a big discussion on Salina Prosper Facebook moms about getting them ready for lunch. You know, remember now when they go to first grade, it's going to be a bigger school and lunch is going to be boom, 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 boom. So it's not that leisurely, let's eat our goldfish one by one and stop and think and chat with our neighbors. It goes by quick. And if they pack a lunch from home, especially, they end up coming home with not all of it eaten. And then you're thinking, oh my God, they were starving all day. They didn't eat their lunch. Well, they probably spent a little too much time chatting with their friends, and they do get the chat with their friends in the cafeteria, and that's important. But they have to learn that balance, you know, of eating. They have 30 minutes for lunch. So that's something you can continue over the summer, is kind of set a little time that it's not a grazing time. I know my oldest granddaughter likes to kind of graze sometimes at home, come back and eat a little bit later, but they have 30 minutes here at school for lunch. Now, here's something else very important. Do you suspect that your child has any developmental delays? You're thinking by this time, it's like, you know what? I'm looking at the other kids and maybe my child isn't where I think they should be, but maybe you're wondering. Well, I'll just wait and see. I'll just tell you, as a parent and educator, just in observing what I observed, this is not where the wait and see approach is best. You know, a lot of times doctors will say, wait and see. We'll just wait and see. Let's just wait, see if it gets better. This is not that one of those times. If you suspect something, say something. Bring someone's attention to it. So because why? Early intervention is the key here, and it's critical. If one thing we do know in education is that the earlier the intervention, the better. So doctors used to be a good source to start with. And I still will always say doctor, because if it's a physical thing, a doctor needs to diagnose. We need to start with doctor. But if you're still, you know, the doctor said it was okay, but I'm still feeling a little uneasy, well, continue, get some second opinions. Because remember, your doctor only sees your child for, like, you're in the waiting room for 30 minutes and the doctor sees your child for 5. And then your child may not be feeling well, or maybe a little nervous that they're going to get a shot. And so they don't see the true picture of how your child is acting or behaving or speaking, or their skills or their motor skills. And so, always ask. And then sometimes our children do qualify for some additional services, and you want to get your child all the help they qualify for so that they have success in their school, in their little school lives. All right, so I'm giving you a lot of information right there. I feel like I just scratched the surface, but those were some important things. And you always know you can email me with further questions. Our word for the month of March, as we march into spring break, is cooperation, working together and helping others. So if you're planning some projects, as well as some trips, what a great opportunity you have there to seal the deal on that skill of cooperation. It's one that they learn about this age, or they start learning about this age, because prior to that, they're very much in their own little bubble, and it's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Up until the age of 4, they really, if you say, there's enough for everybody, there will be enough. Enough is an abstract term. They don't understand that word. All right, you can go first tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is an abstract term. Their concept of time is not solidified yet. So you just as soon have said next Christmas, or you can be first next time. Next time is just so out there. These terms are abstract. So you see them really fighting over, wanting, it's mine, wanting this and that. And you're going, oh my God, my child's the bossiest little girl or boy. Well, it's not so much that. It's just this is the learning time and working together and sharing and cooperating with others. As speaking of time, I've heard some parents use the term sleeps to help quantify how much time we're talking about. Like it's 2 more sleeps till your birthday. They'll go to bed and sleep 2 more times before that big day arrives, because it's hard to show them on a calendar and for them to understand just how much time we're talking about. I mean, some of them will come up and say, oh, Jeannie, it's almost my birthday. I go, wow, when is your birthday? And they'll say, August 1st. well, it's March. I'm thinking to myself, but see, they don't have, it could be tomorrow in their little minds. They can't process the time yet. So sleeps was a good one, I thought. So here's all the ways we can help them understand. He did it, she did it is one you hear a lot, especially when they're doing, working on something, but he broke it and she took all the pieces and they're not playing fair. And so learning to share and cooperate with others. You might hear a lot of this next week, actually, on spring break. If we ever have a rainy day, I think there is going to be one rainy day next week. Hopefully not, but it's when you haul out these kinds of things. All right. And when they say, they're not doing it, they're not playing fair and they're not doing it right, what do they really mean? They're not doing it my way. So often little ones' failure to understand the meaning of cooperation looks very much like a little bossy girl or boy. So it's hard for them to understand. Not everyone's going to want to do what they want. So this is a great place to start with little building materials. For example, if we all put our blocks together, we can build a taller tower. Some stuff, they are just starting to realize that. Some of I do an after-school program, and some are like, yeah, let's put them all together. Oh, look how tall our tower, look, Miss Jeannie, how tall our tower is. They start to see the advantages of cooperating and teamwork. So, but they're not going to learn unless they're given the opportunity. And I will just say this, I understand about the iPad, but you can't learn that on the iPad. You have to physically actually work with others. So another good tip for parents on teaching this is to, arrange play dates so they can have someone else to cooperate if they're an only child to cooperate with, and then keep them simple at first. Start with maybe one other child. Look at these two boys, aren't they proud? I think this is in Miss Jones's class, yes. And then slowly add more kids in the mix, so here we have 4 and it's working out, but that probably wouldn't have worked the first day of school. They have to learn, that they're sharing these blocks and they're going to work together and they're going to build something together. So engage in activities that encourage cooperation with your child, play with your child. Next week's a great opportunity if you took that week off as well. Because what do I always say? Model, model, model. All right. What they see you doing is what they're going to do. So play games with them and let them see you lose and you have a good attitude about it.
I have a guest and we're going to interrupt you real quick.
No, you're not. Keep going. Let her go. Keep going.
Miss Dr. McGlasgow is here with us.
Oh, okay. All right. Welcome, Dr. McGlasgow. I'm glad you joined in. Well, so in ending on cooperation, the more you model it, the easier it will be for them. So teaching them how to play outside, get the soccer ball out, get the little T-ball out and those kinds of things. If we have some good weather, and play with them. Get those little easy games. Last month, I shared a bunch of little non-reading games that you can do with them. Get those out and actually play with them and show them how to win and how to lose and be graceful about it. Don't let them win. Don't let them win every time. You need to win, parents. You need to win sometimes so they can high five you and say, good job. All right, because they have to be taught this. And then let's see, my last slide on that are some good suggestions. The Little Red Hen makes a pizza. That's a good one for cooperation because in the original Little Red Hen, remember, she eats the whole loaf of bread because they didn't help her make it. Well, in this one, in the end, she does share with her friends. She is kind, but her friends then have to clean up all the mess. They have to wash all the dishes and clean up, and they do. So it has a good ending. Everybody works together and they all enjoy the pizza. Frankie is just adorable. A teacher borrowed my copy yesterday and read it to her class, and she said they were rolling on the floor laughing. So if you want a cute, fun read aloud, because remember we talked earlier about read alouds, they have to sit through the whole story, all right, and follow along with the storyline. Guess what's going to happen next? Guess how the person is feeling. Frankie's the new dog in town, in other words, in the house, and the old dog isn't taking it very well. And all the toys are his, and he really isn't happy. This cute little dog has come in and he's got to share. And so it's adorable. It's super cute. It has a lot of cute little pictures. If you're a dog lover, you will love this book as well. And just because it's March, 10 lucky leprechauns, our pre-K students will love this. It's counting up to 10 as the leprechauns join in. All right, and ending with their pot of gold. So speaking of, before I get into speaking of pot of gold, they're getting Lucky Leprechaun tickets this month. They started yesterday, and our kids are working to be lucky leprechauns and get their little squishies in the morning. So we're concentrating on just good golden behavior and treating others nicely and doing all of those, cooperating and doing all of those things that we've been talking about thus far this year. So now Career Day. Career Day is going to be April the 15th. It's a Friday. I'm mentioning it very early. I mentioned it last month as well, because if you need to request the day off, you need to do it now. So please email me if you're interested in speaking on Career Day. Now, here's the big takeaway. You do not have to be a magician to speak for Career Day. Don't underestimate the wow factor of your job. I have had parents speak on some of the most mundane things that you would have thought in the past, that they have like wowed and brought the most interesting elements to share with the kids. And it can be done. If you and I put our heads together, we can come up with some way to make it interesting for our little ones. So if you're a builder, a rancher, a veterinarian, a dentist, a photographer, a trainer, a doctor, a farmer, a cosmetologist, a nurse, a police officer, a firefighter, a chef, a baker, an artist, a flower arranger. I've had all of these in the past. Therapy dog trainer. Let me just say, if you have any remote thing to do with animals in your job, you're in. Because at this age, they love animals. So if you do anything with animals, you're in. Email me. All right. Now, if you have anything that provides some visuals, maybe even some tasty treats, if you bake something, hint, hint, or a video of your day and what your typical day looks like, what your office looks like, what your uniform look like. Can you wear anything you want? Or your schedule. So these things are interesting to them. So you can include a video. If you bake cakes, include a video of you decorating a cake. If you're a personal trainer, teach them some of the exercises that you do in the gym. Everybody get up out of your seat. We're going to do some lunges. If you're a dentist, bring visuals, bring toothbrushes, hint, hint. You get the idea, I think. You get the idea. You can include a little video that the teacher can show on the projector when she comes. You can bring some pictures. If you travel a lot in your job, bring some pictures of some of the places you travel to. We can spice it up. We can spice it up. We'll put our heads together. We will spice it up and get ready. So please email me if you think you're available on that day. Now, you don't have to speak the whole day from the beginning of school to the end. There will be a schedule. We have a couple of other kind of presentations that day that are whole group. So just be short. And there's presentations, listen, 15 minutes. We're talking kindergarten here, 15 minutes. So we're at the awareness level in kindergarten. So we're just making them aware of it. You don't have to go into the college courses that you took. You can mention that you went to college if you did, or you went to a special school, but you don't have to get into the nitty gritty like you would if you were speaking to a college class. So email me the nuts and bolts. Email me and I will email you the exact times, the length, the nuts and bolts of where do you go, what do you do, what time do you show up. We'll get together and all of those little fine details I will go over with you. I'll probably personally call you. If it's not you that wants to speak, but you have a neighbor you think they'll be interested, or someone in the community you know that's a very good friend of yours that has their own business that you think would be awesome, send me their email. I will contact them. All right, so I think I've given you I've got you, do I have your brain spinning? Giving you some ideas. You're wondering, okay, so please email me. I want at least 10 emails after this of people wanting to speak for Career Day. So last call for watchdogs. So in the fall, we were, packed with watchdog volunteers. We kind of tapered off for March and April. I have a bunch of spaces available in April if you are wondering about it, and you can, dads who are listening this morning or moms who are listening and you know that your husbands are interested, the kids love it when dads show up and we introduce you in front of the whole group in the morning and you're a celebrity. We get your picture taken, and guess what? Those lovely t-shirts, aren't those t-shirts awesome? We ordered them in August and they finally came in. They are awesome. You get a free t-shirt. Now, if that doesn't seal the deal, a free t-shirt. On the back, it says dads of great students. So they came out, they look great, and they're that high quality t-shirt. And so you can wear it all day and be proud. So please go and sign up. You go to the district website and go to Sign Up Genius, and you'll see there's some spaces still in March, and then there's plenty in April as well. Speaking of April, my next coffee with the counselor is April the 5th at 9 a.m. and our topic will be Here Comes Summer. We'll speak more about what to do over the summer to reduce that summer slide and make sure they maintain all of their skills, and some fun things to do as well. So we're gonna have some fun in the summer. If you're updating your calendars, some things to be aware of. Tomorrow is College Awareness Day, so college t-shirts or whatever, hats and different things. So Read Across America is also tomorrow, and America should be capitalized. I apologize. That's a typo on my part, but it's Read Across America. That means in all schools, they're celebrating the love of reading, and we will have some special guests tomorrow reading to our kiddos. I think Dr. McGlesko will be one of them. And then it's STEAM night, as Ms. Alvarez mentioned, rescheduled for this week, the next day, spring break next week. And then that notice on the 14th, we come back, but the kids do not. Then in April is my coffee, and then family picnic is coming up real soon. And there'll be more information about that, but you won't need to take off like half a day or a special time. It's during their regular schedule lunchtime. So if you sometimes join them for lunch, you'll know what time the family picnic is. Hoping for great weather. It was last year, and it was such a fun event. And then, of course, I always include this slide. Why would you ever want to contact me personally about something? Here are some reasons, especially any life-changing events. Things happen over the school year, and believe me, if they're affecting you, they are affecting your child as well. And I love it when you share. Some of you sometimes share your best moments or your activities that you're doing with your child, and I absolutely love it. I loved all the kindness challenge sheets I received back. I took their pictures, and they're going to be posted in the hall. So if you come for STEAM night, please look for their picture. And finally, I want to wish you all the best spring break. I hope it really feels like spring next week. Wouldn't that be awesome? And I thank you so much for joining in this morning. Thank you, everyone. Oh, Dr. McGlesko, like you really are here. I see you in our campus. You really are here. Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.